Thank you. So I want to talk about college affordability because I do go to UWM. It's the most diverse school in Wisconsin, and we're facing such severe budget cuts from the lovely Governor Scott Walker. So I think that is so important because it does hold us back, not just for maybe the 4 years you're in college, but trying to start a life and have a family and everything. You can't do that because you were trying to get a degree. So what do you see the federal government or more your mom's plans to help with that? And what could you do in states where there's Republican leadership that don't care about giving us an affordable education? So just kind of talk about that.
Well, thank you for your question. I actually remember the day in 1988 when my mom paid off her law school loan. So for my mom, when she talks about college affordability, she's also always talking about graduate school because for her, this is personal too. And when my mom actually was leaving law school and she wanted to work for the Children's Defense Fund, she had gotten most of her law school loans from her school, from Yale. And she had to get Yale to agree to give her a grace period. Because if Yale hadn't given her a grace period, she couldn't have gone to work for the Children's Defense Fund because she wasn't really making any money. She had no money to service her loan. And she was only able to go work for the Children's Defense Fund because she got a civil rights law grant to help support her work. So this is personal to my mom, both because she doesn't want anyone to have to make a choice about where to go to school based on affordability, but also then about where to go to work or what work to do afterwards based on just trying to service a loan. So I want to kind of pick up where Congresswoman Moore left off and talk about what she wants to do for people who have debt today and then also going forward. So college debt today and grad school debt today is actually an issue that she worked on with then Senator Obama when they were both senators. So this is not an issue that she's new to. And I think this is also an area where President Obama doesn't get enough credit for the work that he has done on enabling at least some people to index repayments to a percentage of their income, and all that he tried to do, which was largely blocked by some of Congresswoman Moore's Republican colleagues. But I say that because I think the president doesn't get enough credit for what he has done and what he's tried to do. But for my mom, she says for the $1.2 trillion of outstanding debt, and for the more than 40 million people who have college or graduate school debt, she believes that anyone and everyone should be able to immediately negotiate or just immediately have their interest rates drop to the lowest prevailing interest rate. In the same way that we can negotiate our mortgages or our auto loans, and that often kind of where we settle is whatever the lowest interest rate is, that should just be true for anyone with outstanding student loan debt, and that no one should be expected to pay more than 10% of their salary in total student repayment, so whether that's for interest or principal, and that after 20 years, if someone has any outstanding amount left, that it would be forgiven. So that if you always want to be a teacher, as I'm looking at kind of the NEA, that you shouldn't be penalized in your kind of ability over time to pay back your debt. So that is kind of, in a nutshell, what she thinks we need to do on college and graduate school debt for people who have debt today, and also kind of just couldn't emphasize more clearly what Congresswoman Moore said, making it illegal for the federal government or really anyone to earn a profit on student loan debt. The federal government in particular should not be earning a profit on people going to school. But then, looking forward, she does have a different view than Senator Sanders, in part because this actually came up in the debate here in Wisconsin last month, in part because Senator Sanders finances his plan for free college at a public university or public community college partly through a Wall Street speculation tax, but largely through expecting states to come up collectively with hundreds of billions of dollars day one. Now, as you pointed out, your governor and state legislature cut $250 million from state education in 2015 alone. Do you think they're going to come up with the $11 billion that Senator Sanders expects in his plan day one to help fund free tuition for people in the University of Wisconsin system? So you would have a better answer for that than I would. But I think what matters to me as a voter is that my mom is not only the only candidate on either side of the aisle who tells you exactly how she's going to pay for everything, but she doesn't expect to rely on things that are unlikely like that. So she says going forward, she believes that anyone should be able to graduate from school debt-free, public universities or private universities, debt-free, and for public universities that students who come from working class, middle class families should be able to go tuition-free. But families who come from wealthier backgrounds should pay into the system.